The secret of the pyramids. The Egyptian pyramids are as yet a fascinating and energizing subject regardless of all the exploration and studies dedicated to them. It is said that the pyramids are the burial chambers of the Egyptian pharaohs and that they were worked to protect their mummies and the requirements that were covered with them, and these graves were worked by their parishioners. At the point when British prehistorian Howard Carter opened King Tutankhamun's burial chamber in 1922, he announced seeing great things. The burial chamber was loaded with phenomenal fortunes, including the brilliant passing veil of Tutankhamun, the brilliant privileged position, and, surprisingly, brilliant shoes. In any case, did every one of the imperial burial chambers in Old Egypt contain such glory? While the Great Pyramid of Giza and other antiquated Egyptian pyramids are unimaginable landmarks, almost certainly, the entombment materials inside them were somewhat humble contrasted with those covered in the burial chambers of later pharaohs, like Tutankhamun. Maybe the entombments at the biggest of the pyramids looked extremely straightforward in correlation with Tutankhamun, said Wolfram Gradziecki, a recognized privileged individual at College London in the UK, who has considered and composed broadly on old Egyptian interment customs and entombment purposes. The pyramids were utilized as burial chambers for Egyptian pharaohs from the hour of Djoser, r. 2630 BC to 2611 BC, to Ahmose I, r. around 1550 BC to 1525 BC. The majority of these pyramids were stolen from hundreds of years prior, Gradziecki said, yet a few regal burial chambers remain generally in salvageable shape and give signs to their fortunes. For instance, Princess Nefertiti, who lived around 1800 BC, was covered in a pyramid at the site of Hawara, around 60 miles, 100 kilometers, south of Cairo. Her entombment chamber, exhumed in 1956, contains earthenware, a gathering of stone coffins, a few overlaid individual beautifications, and a bunch of regal badges recognizing her with the Lord of the Hidden World, Osiris, Gradziecki said. Gradziecki said King Her, who lived around 1750 BC, was covered with a comparative arrangement of items, despite the fact that he was not covered in a pyramid. Moreover, Her's body was enclosed by cloth, and the guts were put in unique holders called canopic containers. The burial chamber of Queen Hetepheres, mother of Khufu, the pharaoh who constructed the Great Pyramid, is additionally somewhat more definite. The burial place was implicit Giza and had a bed and two seats brightened with gold, alongside smaller than normal ceramics and copper devices, Gradziecki wrote in an article distributed in January 2008 in the magazine Egypt's Heritage. The foundation, lower part, of the incomplete pyramid of King Sekhemkhet, around 2611 BC to 2605 BC, was viewed as a whole at Saqqara, as per Reg Clark, Egyptologist, and creator of Securing Eternity, Protecting Ancient Egyptian Tombs from Sometimes. Prior to history until the pyramids, the American University in Cairo, 2019, to Live Science in an email. Clark said the ruler's stone casket was unfilled. However, archaeologists found 21 gold wristbands, gold wands or wands, and different objects of gold gems in a hall. While these are amazing entombments, they are not even close to the wealth tracked down in Tutankhamun's burial place. Gravity called attention to that the antiques found in these imperial burial places demonstrate that the pharaohs covered in the pyramids might have been covered in burial chambers that were more humble than those viewed as covered by Tutankhamun. Not at all like the early pharaohs, Tutankhamun's burial place was situated in the Valley of the Kings, a far-off valley close to current Luxor that was utilized as an illustrious entombment site for over 500 years during the New Kingdom, as per the Britannica. This doesn't imply that Khufu was less fortunate than Tutankhamun. His pyramid demonstrates in any case He was recently covered following the practices of his time, Gradzitsky wrote in the article. There were no extraordinary fortunes in the pyramids, as there are in Tut's burial chamber, Hans Obertus Munch, a specialist who has explored and expounded on old Egyptian entombment finds, told Live Science in an email. He noticed that during the New Kingdom, around 1550 BC to 1070 BC, when the development of the pyramids finished, how much extravagant burial chambers covered with individuals from the illustrious and non-imperial families expanded. While the entombment materials inside the pyramids were unassumingly contrasted with later Old Egyptian burial places, a portion of the pyramids had long hieroglyphic engravings on their dividers, which researchers today call pyramid texts. The texts record an enormous number of mantras, as Egyptologists call them, and ceremonies. The Pyramid of Unis or Unis. Around 2353 BC to 2323 BC, was the main pyramid to have these texts on its inside dividers, while the Pyramid of Eobi. Around 2109 BC to 2107 BC, was the latest case, as per James Allen, professor of Egyptology at Brown University, who wrote in the texts of the ancient Egyptian pyramids,